Hi, this is your Unit 5 video assignment. For this video assignment, I wanted to go over a little bit more on immigration and citizenship and talk about kind of some stuff since there's some hot topics going on right now within immigration. The first thing that I just want to mention to you is part of the reason that I feel we have such a problem with our immigration system is the length of time that it takes for people to come into the United States legally. We set immigration quotas, limits on the amount of immigrants that can come into the country each year, whether that be from France or from Nigeria, from Mexico. There are certain numbers that we allow to come in via immigration, legal immigration each year. Now, that's not talking about people that are coming in on visiting visas. These are people that are coming in on residency visas. And so I just kind of want to go over a little bit of information that is out there on the web. And if you want to do some more research, feel free to do it. It's a very important issue to me simply because my husband is from Nigeria and I know how difficult it is for his family to get here, even to visit, as well as for them to, even get over here on a sibling visa because they're related to him. And he does have U.S. citizenship. He obtained citizenship in 2002, I want to say. He became a U.S. citizen. And so he's been in the United States and been a citizen for the last 15 years. We have applied for his brother. He has a younger brother who is unmarried and would like to come to the United States. And so we applied for him to come over to the United States in 2011, and we're still waiting on his application. And I'll tell you a little bit more about this. But you can see these are the classes of immigrants, immigrant-issued visas at foreign service posts. So places outside of the United States. They have issued a grand total in 2016 of 617,752 visas. And these are the family-sponsored preference tools as well as employment-based preference tools. So you can get immigrant visas based on employment. So maybe you have a highly skilled job that is highly sought after in the United States and they can't find anybody to fill it. And so your employer say they hire somebody from China to come over and work a tech job because they can't, according to the company, cannot find anybody to do that job here in the United States, then they can put through an employment-based visa application, and that person could possibly be granted the opportunity to come and work in the United States. When they come, of course, any of these, whether you're applying for a brother, a sister, a spouse, somebody, they come not only with themselves, they come with their spouse, they come with their children. And so that definitely impacts the number of visas that are available each year, since we do have a quota set on those. Each year, we're only allowed 7% per year from each of the countries. And based on the type of visa that you apply for is going to say where you're going to be in that lineup as far as priority, because they do give higher priorities to different kinds of individuals as far as submissions. So as far as immediate relative and family sponsored, you can be a spouse of a U.S. citizen. So maybe you marry somebody in the U.S. You could be a spouse of a U.S. citizen awaiting approval for a 130 immigration petition. And the 130 is the family-based. So maybe you already applied, such as we've done for my brother-in-law. We've applied for him to come into the United States under an I-30 sibling visa, which is lower on the preference. rate than a spouse would be. So he would move up. So if you're have a fiance and you want to get married to somebody that is in the United States and then live in the United States, you can fill out an application for that. I don't know if any of you have seen, there's a show out, 90 day, it's something about 90-day visa or 90-day. So basically people have met people online or through other sources, and then they go over to visit them in their home country, and they have 90 days once they enter the United States on this K-1 visa in order for the couple to get married, and then apply for that they could live in the United States. So maybe you adopt a child. That's another way. Certain family members of U.S. citizens, family members of lawful residents. And then, like I said, the employment ones, religious workers, translators, those are, and then other diversity immigrant visas. So they like to have a wide variety of immigrants. And so maybe you just want to come in as a Somalian. And so you can fill out a diversity immigrant because there aren't a lot of immigrants from Somalia. And I'm just throwing out a country. I'm not sure if that's one that is on those diversity ones, but it's important to know the different kinds of visas. And like I said, it's not a quick and easy process. So when you look at the filing times, and for my brother-in-law, we filed his paperwork with the U.S. government, paid his fee, and it was like a $400 fee to fill out this form. We sent that into the U.S. government. Of course, they cashed our check right away. But we did that back in 2011. And because we did a I-30, a petition for an alien relative, filing for a brother or sister, you can see on this list here that they are currently processing cases that were received as of May 19th, 2011. So we sent his in early in 2011. And so we've actually already been processed. And what that means when they process is their processing date is when do they actually get to look at the paper? When do they actually look through it, check names, check information that's on there, and say, okay, yes, we need supporting documents. And when they ask for supporting documents, they're asking for how are you related? How do proof that you are actually, that they're actually your brother or they're actually your sister. You're actually married. You're actually dating. So they're asking for proof of your relationship. And then once you have that information, so we sent that information off. Actually, I'm thinking our priority date was probably 2010 and not 2011, simply because of where they're at in the processing. And I wasn't sure if it was 2010 or 2011, but we filed all of the paperwork that they sent to us. They indicated that as of November, I believe, or December. Anyway, we received, our case came up in the end of 2015 or 2014 is when they actually processed it. And as you can see here, the case, so we sent in all the paperwork and then our case was approved as of January 27th, 2015. So we've been waiting since January 27th, 2015 for a visa to become available because there's only a certain number that are available to Nigerians, which is where my husband is from, every year. We have to wait until my brother-in-law, his number becomes the top of that, at the top of the list. So how long does that take? Okay, we've received our paperwork. It took 4 years before they actually looked at the paperwork. And then we immediately sent in the stuff that they requested, and they approved it. And now we're just waiting for an open visa. Okay. We're going on nearly 2 years. How much longer are we going to have to wait? Well, unfortunately, you can see dates for filing family-sponsored visa applications, because we are, as far as the ranking of family-sponsored, a brother is considered a low priority or an F4. And so right now they are processing those accepted for July 22nd, 2003. And ours was in 2015. So we're approximately 12 years away from his visa application coming up. We've already waited. Like I said, it's already been since 2010. So we've already waited for 7 years. So we're looking at 22 years wait before a visa. And it could go a little bit quicker than that if something changes. But we're waiting 22 years to get my husband's brother into the country. And you wonder why people come into this country illegally. If you look, those coming in from Mexico and the Philippines, you're looking at 1992. That means that they're just now processing those people who had a priority date or processing date. They were accepted and approved as of December 8th, 1992. They've been waiting since 1992 to have their paperwork processed and to come into the United States legally. So what happens a lot of times is immigration, like I said, is a problem in the United States. It's not something we're going to solve overnight. I do want you guys to give me your thoughts. What are your thoughts on immigration? What type of reform do you think that we need? And so I'm going to go ahead and include the form on here, give you a couple of questions, shoot those back to me. Hopefully you've learned a little bit more about immigration. One thing to note, if you Google it on YouTube or whatever, immigration reform, you'll find out and how long it takes to get your visa. That for some different types of visas in Mexico and the Philippines, it can take up to 115 years for them to process your documents. Now, obviously, that is insane, and something definitely needs to be done, because you could wait your entire lifetime and never have your visa application come up and have a visa available for you. So obviously there's ways around it, and people are finding ways around it, but it's pretty disheartening for those of us that, go through the legal channels. Like I said, we're already waiting for my husband. We're going on, since 2010, 2011. We're 2 years now that we've been approved, just waiting, and we've got another 12 years apparently to wait until a visa comes up for him. So pretty sad days in our household right now, but eventually it will happen. And